The stochastic fiction game is a timed writing game. We'll start the clock there. That within that time, I'm going to create a story after I write to these prompts and these story elements that just got created with that script. And at the end of that time, before the end, or maybe even during the end of that time, I will read the story aloud. The stochastic fiction game generates this with random parameters, all the story elements, and timestamps it as well. And so, for today's story elements, to create a story within the next 90 minutes and read it aloud, no matter its state, then rate it, we have these story elements. Setting time past, setting main location, tunnel. Conflict person versus self, quantity of primary characters, mini. Point of view third, tense, present tense, genre, science fiction. Format, flash fiction. Those are today's stochastic fiction game story parameters. Story elements. Parameters can work as well as a word to define them too. Now I need to construct a story and write a story and read a story based upon these story elements. Present tense, I'm just going to go kind of randomly, but let's start at the top and let's think about this. It has to be in the past, so setting time past. And if this was hard science fiction, then maybe I could put it, it doesn't matter the past, because you have this whole new world and you create the history. Because this is going to be flash fiction, I don't want to have to create an entire world and then tell a story about in the past. Maybe if it was like first person and I could do a narrative, because now I'm looking at point of view third, and that's like omniscient. I guess you could have this narrator in a flash fiction story tell you about these two big worlds. I mean, that's enough to take up the 600 to 1200 words you want to give for that flash fiction story. So we'll use current timeline past, which is the one we're experiencing together right now. Therefore, everybody here knows the world, and it can be maybe fit into a flash fiction story. It is science fiction, so hey, the past could be the present. The tense, let's go up there from genre. Let's go to the tense, present tense. I think that is what I want, because that's a default in what I do as far as when I write, which would make it even harder to write this in the past if I were making up some sort of world, and then in that world I'm writing a story that's like a prequel to a story that doesn't even exist. So anyway, science fiction, flash fiction, tunnel. I mean, if you think tunnel, you're going to think wormhole. Boom. You could be from any time. You're just going in the past, I suppose. It's third person, omniscient, present tense. I think omniscient is where I'd go with that at least. Omnipresent. It's flash fiction, so you can't really head hop too much. No need to. Let's not do wormhole. I feel like, let's see if I can explore that just a little bit. What time is it? Is this, man, did my, no, it's right there. Okay, I just want to see what time, okay. It's only been 5 minutes. I can do this. Science fiction is something I write. Whether I'm good at it or not, I'm not terrible. Which is good enough for this. Mini characters. Yeah, I'm also Flash. Having maybe action adventure movie flashbacks of some sort of underground water tunnel, and the tunnel collapses and you got to save the people that could be drowning. So those sort of pop culture themes are coming into my mind when I think of tunnel for the location. And of course, the worm, like a wormhole tunnel, I think for science fiction might be the tunnel I want, but what are they doing in the past? Are they going like a tunnel within a tunnel? Like you could do cave tunnels. Could be one of those like time travelers that goes to the past. I mean, that's never been done. That'd be an original story. It would not. It would not. What was that? It was in some 80s. Uh, Voyager? Voyagers? I don't know. It was like some dude and some kid, and they had timepieces and they time traveled. Anyway, that's coming to mind for some reason. That popped into my head, so it's obviously going to probably influence maybe if I do time travel. That one I think it was sort of like the other time travel one that comes to mind, Quantum Leap. It's very similar to Quantum Leap. Like they had a fixed time or do something with time. Because that's what time travelers do. They arrange, so let's not go down. Let's not, I mean, I don't, if it's science fiction, I guess I could have that, like maybe, let's take a historical event and use that as something that was caused by aliens in a I mean, like something, I don't know. That's science fiction. I mean, aliens I believe they exist, but it's science fiction because we don't know, and fiction's a lie, and we're just constructing our own images of what they would be like. And maybe it's close to some truth, and there's some people that claim to have been kidnapped, and maybe they have. So maybe we do have some sort of vague sense of what an alien looks like. Us, bipedal. I think we're bipedal, right? I think that's a proper term to apply to human body makeup. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. I really like the wormhole because it has to happen in a tunnel. But if you could do science fiction tunnel here, like World War II, Vietnam War, maybe. Gulf War. Better, more memory. Let's just skip up one more war. Sure. Should we make it about war? No, I don't want to make it about war. I write war-y things in other places. Today I don't want to write about war. Person versus self. Okay, so we got to have someone that's trying to get through this tunnel. I mean, that's a great, yes, it's a triumph. I just need to get through the tunnel. Science fiction in the past. Maybe it has to be like a literal tunnel. Maybe these wormholes, but then you gotta like explain this sort of story of why this wormhole exists, this tunnel. And then they're going to, maybe this is the story, person versus self. Maybe they're coming from the past, or they're going to the past, and they just stepped out of they're walking the tunnel like, I mean, let's just throw it out there. Why skip around? We don't have to like wormhole tunnel. I'm going to try to come up with some narrative voice that doesn't sound bad, boring, but we'll see. It's present tense. walking the wormhole tunnel. We'll make this like a thing. This is tunnel 1323. You know there's at least been 22 other tunnels potentially, or maybe it's just a location, who knows. Walking wormhole tunnel 23. Third person, so this got to put a name to face. Wow, I don't have a dice near. They're time travelers. They're going back in time, past. The conflict, I don't like. That's just it. They're trying to. I mean, that's like what's is like. I don't want it just like a scene walking through the tunnel. So what I have in mind right now for a story would be someone walking through a wormhole tunnel to the past, remembering or muttering all of the things they need to know and remember, as well as the conduct on the other side. And I don't have, like, what is that like? Are they gonna have a test at the end? Like, I need tension. I need tension. I don't feel tension unless that is then used. So I gotta write some story about someone working through a tunnel, thinking of one scenario, and then seeing if they could apply that scenario. And maybe it's like they're not in a wormhole tunnel, but that'd be easier if they were in a wormhole tunnel, because then you could throw that out there and make it science fiction. And then you take care of the tunnel aspect too, because this does have to happen in a tunnel, but I'd like it maybe to the tunnel club. And it is in a tunnel. It's a long tunnel. And they're trying to act normal, and we're going to go back to, I should probably, if I'm going to make this easy on me, use some memory that I have of a club, because they're trying to get into a club. But why would they care? Like, what's their mission? What's the tension? Of course, anyone's going to be able to get into a club. Like, you just pay the money. But maybe if it's science fiction, it could be a special club, the Time Travelers Club. It would at least put it in the past. And maybe it is a Time Travelers Club. And maybe I could, yeah, absolutely, that's what it'll be. It'll be, I mean, you'd probably want a club, a dance place at a certain time. And why wouldn't you want it to be like a dance club? Because there's lots going on and no one's going to pay attention to you. You know, start talking about time travel and you're in a mall or back in the 80s in some sort of mall, everyone's going to hear you. No one's going to be able to record you, though, because it is in the past. And that's probably why the time travelers go there, is because no one gets recorded. I mean, yeah. Let's go back to the 80s where we're not recorded so much. Let's go back to the early 90s. Unlike now, holy shit. I mean, I'm getting recorded right now. So I'm addicted to it in a way, I suppose. But if I were a time traveler and I wanted to be lax, I'd go back to the 90s or 80s. To the 1990s, to 19. Let's just use my own time here. My God, there was nothing. Let's just do it in the 90. Whoa. Man, it was 18, 19. That'd be about 1995. It was really 30 years ago. Okay. So we'll go 1995. I don't know what was playing on the radio. I don't necessarily want that, but there has to be something in that club that I can remember playing a lot. Walking in Wormhole Tunnel 23. The Vortex. I'm just going to use the name of the club. One of the clubs I used to go to. And Vortex sounds cooler. It's like a... yeah. What is the proper definition of vortex? I want to see what my search and return engine gives me. I'm not even... A mass of fluid resembles a whirling pool. A region within the body in which the fluid elements have an angular velocity. There's such thing as the polar vortex. It's the time vortex. Yes. Yes. It's the time vortex. For these time travelers back in the 1995. We'll go the past. Tunnel, and I don't ever really need yeah, like if they're being chased, at least there's some sort of conflict. Running Wormhole 23. Running Wormhole 23 to the vortex. I'm going to just like the idea of making this during 1995. Running Wormhole 23 to the vortex during 1995. I mean, it's a flash fiction story. You're going to have to tell. This character will remain from the future. I'm going to give him some sort of name that, as the amount of languages we speak decreases, and amount of data spreads in our ability to communicate, though that's that's being diminished through censorship. So that's an unfortunate thing. But eventually we may have some common. So I'm going to just think of a name that's futuristic, United States of America based. I mean, because I can only lie so well. I haven't done a lot of studying on the world of names, etymology, I guess, of names. Would etymology be the right word to apply this? Researching the meaning of the names, meaning of the words behind the names too. Having not done that, not like I can analytically filter out my upbringing. So let's not try. Let's just call them. Let's go with the them. They're from the future. They time travel. And I got Giler. Hell yeah, Giler. I mean, it's a science fiction novel. If you got a name like, I mean, unless you're trying to be witty or prove a point, it's part of the plot. Like, having Joe is neat and good, but I need Giler because I need to get people into that little bit of a pulpy sci-fi where we got to have these weird names, and I love that. I mean, I do it in my stories. Is it pulpy? A little bit. If it's done right, then it's not, I suppose. Everything's pulpy. Just don't do it right, unless you want that, because you can make some money. You're good at it. And who knows what lasts? I don't. As far as writing is concerned and what catches on during now and as well as the future. So running wormhole 23 to the Vortex Dance Club during 1995. Running tunnel 20 and in 1995. Giler glances through the what's like the light, the bent light tunnel. I don't know. That's something. Running wormhole 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995. Giler glances. Yeah. Running wormhole 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995. Giler glances through the bent light tunnel at the what would be like the waving I don't know, ethereal. No, it wouldn't be ethereal. Ethereal. I think that's what I don't know. Ethereal. No, I don't even know if I'm saying the word right. Don't matter. Not the word I want anyway. Like bendy, a warped silhouette. A silhouette. It's close enough. Warped silhouette running, chasing. Let's give purpose behind that movement. Chasing and holding a time key. Yes. Running wormhole 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995. Giler glances through the bent light tunnel at a warped silhouette, chasing and holding a time key. Running wormhole tunnel. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting sidetracked a bit because now I gotta. Where's this gonna go? Like, why? I gotta now. I have tension. I have location. They just need to get through the door, so I gotta set that up. This is the first sentence. They're gonna make it, and this is mini. Well, mini. There's two. We got two characters. That's interpret. And person versus it's self. Yes. If it's person versus self, I like that. Ooh. Ooh. That's what the silhouette. This can be a shadow. A warped shadow of himself, of themself. Not the time key, holding a gun. I don't know how the gun's gonna play into this. A warped shadow of their past self. Yes, there we go. Running wormhole tunnel 25 for the past self. chasing and holding. Chasing Giler and holding a gun. Giler looks at the end of the wormhole. Sees people at the end of the alley. Lined up. Giles looks at the end of the wormhole and sees people at the end of the alley lined up. Entrance. Of the Time Club. They feel the thump. They hear the rattle, the thump and rattle. Flowing into the worm tunnel. Now I gotta write a story though. Great. I have where they're gonna go. I got an hour. I can at least kind of see this because I'm basing because this is getting created with non-fiction experience. And I've got a decent enough memory. I got a decent enough good memories about going to this little place that I would use. It's just a vague background, which will then at least help me build up some good fiction lie around it, that this person's a time traveler. And I don't want to get into pop culture name drops because I could definitely remember songs they played. But that's not what I want because they're not inside and they'll never make it inside. This is about being in the tunnel. And yeah, I mean, I stood outside nightclubs many times, and sound and noise ordinances makes it so you only hear some low thumping and rattling of windows and not much at that sometimes outside. So there's no connection or understanding about that song that's inside, and they're not going to be going inside, so I don't have to worry about that. Not a worry, but I don't have to consider that in this story. What I need to consider is connecting these two people and what this person. This is a little bit cheating. The past part of the stochastic fiction game. They may be satisfied, but for them to tunnel, they're in timeless. But they're going to the past. The shadow. the future self follows to first So if we have some sort of idea of why they're doing this, and I think I've got, at least I'm going to make the attempt to show, maybe probably more tell because this is a flash fiction story and you only have so many words, and showing usually takes a few more lines, but also more words, potentially. Most of the time I've done it at least. And maybe I'm doing it wrong, which is very possible. The shadow, the future self, follows to the first become a time corrector. The shadow follows present Giler through the tunnel. Present Giler through the tunnel. Let's give the shadow its own paragraph, because I might want to have another paragraph for Giler. Giler. Yes. Giler. The future, the shadow, the future Giler follows present Giler to become the first to the follows present Giler, and present Giler, I don't want to use too many who's, so in present Giler runs through the time tunnel to the past Giler, who know nothing about time travel and being a time corrector. I mean, isn't that like, yeah, I mean, that was like the big move, the two TV time travel ones that I can think of was always like time correction. It's Quantum Leap, and I think the other one was called Voyagers. And Voyagers, I think they had to do some sort of like time traveling thing. And then Quantum Leap, in order to leap, they had to do a thing. And it was usually a thing for good, fixing time. I know there's been more than one other one, a lot. That's like the biggest trope of time travel almost. 12 Monkeys wasn't, yeah, that was the attempt to do fixing time by time travel. So I think basically, now that I'm thinking of time travel, it's usually about fixing time and realizing they're the ones creating the disaster, or they do fix time and the world's saved because of it. And we don't know it because it was such a either insignificant event, or it is what allowed the thing to succeed. Maybe. Depends on the fiction writer and how good they are, because that's a great lie to tell. With this one, let's go who knows nothing about time travel and being a time corrector. The Shadow Giler Say it's a time shadow. Ooh, yeah. That makes it sound neat. The time shadow. I like that. That's fun. Maybe. It's purely subjective. But that was fun. I might need to use the restroom. Go cycle water. I could do that. Should put that in quotes. And time waits for no one. Time has passed. 52 minutes left in this 90-minute stochastic fiction game. And we have time shadow was an idea that was just thought for this flash fiction story. Now is a good time, I think, to at least revisit the story elements for this stochastic fiction game, load them back into the mind and make them my focus, and see if they are being properly applied. Story elements setting time past. I guess so. There's an element of past here, and pulling out memories from the past. Yeah. Aside from, I guess I put 1995, so maybe that's satisfied. It is definitely going to be in a time tunnel, the whole story. So yeah, that's great. They're going to the past. Conflict person versus self. I think this is ultimately, yeah. I mean, I have all these three characters, and I guess, they're different states, so it does make them many, more than two, more than one. And they're all of a self, so that would qualify as that primary conflict. I should probably relabel that. And point of view third. Yeah. Tense, present tense. I think I got that. Genre, science fiction. I am in a time tunnel with time travelers. I'm pretty certain I've satisfied that one. And format, flash fiction. Yes, it will be a flash fiction story. And it's on its way, at least it has a beginning. They realize they're correcting their own time. Would this be also, there was what? There was also what the hell? The one movie. They had the time traveling one where they sent people in the future to the past to be killed and disposed of because there's less data and information. Looper. This won't be one of those. because it's a different time travel mechanism and different purpose and reason and use case. It's a fun movie. Excuse me. The time shadow, the future self of Giler, follows present Giler, and present Giler runs through the time tunnel to past Giler, who knows nothing about time travel and being a time corrector, while past Giler stands in line. Wearing their, was it plaid? God, what the, I am, the time shadow of Giler. Why would they hold a gun? Like, what the hell's the gun for? That seems a bit out. It seems stupid. Because it is. Right, for this story at least. Because they don't want to kill him. So let's at least make it something that subdues them, right? Let's right. I say like we're all in agreement. No one's agreed with me. Just agreeing with myself. Runs through the time tunnel to the past jailer. Time shadow, the future self of Giler follows present Giler, and present Giler runs through the time tunnel to the past Giler, who knows nothing about time travel and being a time corrector, while past Giler stands in line with hands in pockets at the age of 19, wearing their plaid sweater tied around their waist. Let's make that waist. And hands in pockets. And hanging shoulders with hands in pockets. The time shadow, the future self of Giler. That's what it says. They hear the humping around the windows the following. As he blah 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 blah. Giler looks at the wormhole and sees people at the end of the alley lined up in the entrance of the dance club, the Vortex, during 1995. That's great. Holding a gun. Holding a gun. That's not Giler. Giler glances through the bent tunnel of the warped time shadow. Chasing Giler and holding a clock. I don't want it to be a weapon. What time do I have? 45 minutes. I need to figure this out. What are they holding? What are they trying to do? They're trying to get through the tunnel, and they see the other Giler trying to stop them. A time gun. What does it do? What does a time gun do? It shoots you. It stops time because you're dead. We have to say it in that voice, so I would want to be time gun, time pistol, time ray. I mean, I remember like so in Quantum Leap. Let's go back to time traveling. Pop media is shapes how I think of things. It's just so everywhere. Um, that one had like some external machine, if I remember right, and they're caught in some like time loop, and there was someone from the future that could come and had a device and inform the time traveler what was going on and help them along. But the time traveler did not have a device now, and the other one I think was called Voyagers. I should look that up, but I'm not going to. The pair had a time traveling piece. I think it had like a yellow, a red light, and a green light, or some sort of indicator that time was right, and then they would time travel. So those are sort of time devices I can think of. None of them with like a time gun, time pistol. And what would that be? Like, would it be more like a time ray? Maybe a quantum disruptor to pull you from the a quantum gun. Yeah, man, it's a quantum gun. Holding a quantum gun to shoot you from the tunnel. From between time. It's just like stupid. Like what? It's like having it be a gun just to make it a gun. Is that really a constraint that I want to put on myself right now? Maybe they're just chasing past Giler. Let's do it right here, man. Let's go chasing present Giler. Wants to help past Giler not be persuaded to be a time traveler. Time cop's been so taken. And I wouldn't want to be time cop. There's a book. What the hell was that? It's a book I read, or even the book club I'm in, that dealt with time travel like that, but I can't remember if they were able to help people. I think they had like the sort of Star Trek time directive. You couldn't interfere with time. I mean, that's another. And now I'm thinking like the Marvel, the Loki. Yes, was dealt with time. That was fun. But that was like the multiverse thread of infinity. Yeah, I don't want to go there right there. The time multiverse. So who wants to help past Giler not be persuaded by future Giler? What did I call it? Time constable. A time corrector. Let's go time constable. Oh my. I think I want that. That. Yes. I'm a time constable. Constabling their own time. If it was a time corrector, though, that hit harder right there. Because to be like, wow, they used the label of the person to even just have this witty ending. Look how smart they are. in their writing. Let's go Time Constable. I just like Time Constable. Lifted from my use currently of any of the Small Shield story. Where there's constables, at least where I mean, I use this enough now. I'm embarrassed. Constable. Why am I not seeing the word constable? Constable. I'm gonna look. I gotta get a search and return. I feel bad. I'm just having a word. Constable. Gyre looks at the end of the wormhole and sees people in the alley, lined up to the entrance of the Time Club and Dance Club, the Vortex, during 1995. They hear the thump and rattle of windows flowing into the time tunnel. The time shadow of future self of Gyler. What did I say that? So the a warped time shadow of their past self, chasing present Gyler, who wants to help past Gyler to not be persuaded by future Gyler to be a time constable. Gyler seen. Gyler, where are you, Gyler? Has felt the death of lovers and friends too many times while they hop time and wants that pain to stop. Be reasonable. I mean, that would really suck, I gotta say, being a time traveler. Yeah, I mean, maybe it'd get boring too, be monotonous eventually. Lots of pressure too. Yeah. So the time shadow, the future self of Gyler, and the present Gyler to the time tunnel. Past Gyler knows nothing about time travel, being a time constable, while past Gyler stands in line with hands in pockets at age 18. And stepping into steam blows into the freezing night air as feet slip on ice puddles and crunch of snow. While stomping to help warm Gyler, standing in line. The time shadow runs side to side with present Gyler. Who's going to get to him first? I mean, obviously, if this is like some time loop, you don't have the Gyler's going to get tripped. They're not going to make it. I gave pure person reason. Has felt the death of lovers and friends too many times while they hop time, while Gyler moves time. And Gyler wants this pain to stop. Now I got, what's the motive to stop? Like that's what's the time shadows? We've got an omniscient I should be able to hop into some head right here. At least know what this present, future self. The time shadow of future self, Giler, follows present Giler, and present Giler runs through the time tunnel. The past Giler, okay, blah, blah, blah. Time shadow, what's the time shadow's motive? What is their motive? Because right here I've written into, my paragraphs are long. My sentences are a little long too, but that's fine. Wearing spoons from the fusing night, helping warm present Giler, past Giler. Okay. This is the motive I need right here. Why is past Giler not wanting present Giler to go warn future Giler, warn present Giler? Anyway. Future Giler does not want present Giler to have past Giler not become a time constable. What changes present Giler's mind in the future to have future self stop this? I need to come up with that motive. It's like some moral. I've decided to be really good, so after this, outweighing just using the trope that exists in a lot of time travel stories, trying to make one within this time limit of fixing time as if it could be fixed. Fiction, science, fiction. Time shuttle runs side by side with present Giler. Why do they want to stop present Giler from warning past Giler not to become a time constable? And grabs, we'll write a thing, we'll edit if it sucks that bad. And grabs present Giler, the time shadow, which is future Giler. Let's just use that. I've already kind of called it a time shadow, but we'll call them now future Giler. Runs side to side with present Giler and grabs present Giler. What's present Giler's? I'm going to try to trip him. And how would you do that, though? You could do that if you're good enough and you're a time traveler and you spend enough time. And you're just physical. You can actually run and have some sense of balance. Just kind of kick out. Present Giler takes a wide step. Now I got to get motive, though. This is the action. I need motive. Why? I don't have that yet. So future Giler, runs the side step, and present Giler, and takes a wide step, hitting the foot of present Giler. I guess that's what I can wait on that. Doesn't have to be. There's probably gonna be some sort of why. That'll have present Giler ask future Giler, because present Giler right now trips. And so we'll have a whole other paragraph. Present Giler. Hand. Now they're going to get close to the. Sees the end of the time tunnel. How am I going to give distance without giving some lame like 10 feet away? It's not lame, but you can do better. A long leap. A long leap away. I mean, it's not that far. I mean, even the longest of leaps is not that far. Present Giler sees the end of the time tunnel, a long leap away. They see past Giler. And their identification, the driver's license. The door bouncer. They see past Giler and their driver's license, door, boom, 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 boom. No, I don't know. They see past Giler, hand their driver's license to the door bouncer. Let's already speed that up. They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel splash their face. I mean, I don't understand where this dimension of physical time, that's the fiction part. Because now if it's a time tunnel, what does that really mean? And would you really run? You're projecting yourself, right? I don't know. I'm trying to. Yeah, anyway, and much like what would a timepiece really mean to a time traveler? And I guess you'd want a mechanic. I don't know. It's fiction. They see the shimmering floor, but now I have to think about it because this person trips. And if they've tripped, that means there's some sort of reaction or non-action or some sort of way to show what's going on and what this tunnel is made of, because you're now having a character directly interact with it. They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel splash their body. Of their lives and their loved ones flash through their minds as the body breaches the time barrier. They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel splash their body and flashes of their lives and their loved ones flash through their... Oh man, I got lots of flashing. Live low one. They see their lives and loved ones flash through their thoughts as their body breaches the time barrier. Just get... They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel splash their body and lives and witness lives, the lives of their loved ones, the lives of their loved ones flash through their thoughts as their bodies breaches, as their body breaches, as their body breaches, as their body breaches the time barrier. They see, okay, I think that's present Jolly, blah, blah, blah. They feel past Giler. Push them into the time barrier. As the time door of the time tunnel closes. Well, it's a short story. It's a flash fiction story. President Giler sees the end of the time tunnel a long leap away. A long leap away? Yeah, let's do that. A long leap away. President Giler sees the end of the time tunnel a long leap away. They see past Giler. They see past Giler give, not hand, that's just, give their driver's license to the door bouncer. They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel, splash the bodies. What's the reasoning behind it? Like some moral lesson. I mean, you want to make it full of a good trope. I got 22 minutes because I think this thing is done. Like, I got something, but I got to give why. Why do they stop them? And if it's like, we swore an oath to uphold, that is just not going to do well because I'd need more words to really give an impact to that. To build up this character that really believes in the oath of not interfering with past time or stopping yourself from doing a thing. Never interfering with your own time. They feel the past Giler push them into the time barrier as the time door and the time tunnel closes. Present Giler realizes rule 1 of time travel is true. You could never change your timeline. I mean, that's broad. That's a statement. You can never change your present timeline. You can only change your present timeline. what would that be? So if, I mean, that's just it. I mean, everyone's got the time travel theory that, but this concept, if you were to actually time travel, that's when you start, I guess, potentially tapping into the concept of dimensions, or how quantum physics. If I couldn't rightfully go back and talk to my younger self, because that would just be a different timeline. I think that's, yeah. You can't change your present timeline. You can only change your present timeline. I don't know if that, that's like one of those, it's science fiction. Is this part of the constable thing? You can only change your present timeline, your present self. I think it's done. It's not much. And it's going to be an interesting read, because the paragraphs are dense and the prompt window is now smaller for some reason. Has it shrunk? It did shrink. Did I move it? Maybe. Maybe not. Let's take a look here. No, it's right sized. Let's see if I hit I did present tense, so that's usually where I mess up the most. If it says past tense, then I'm potentially doomed. It's third person. Let's go ahead and let's read this. For today's stochastic fiction game, with these story elements. Oh, I gotta name the thing. Shoot. Present. Present perfect, present tense. Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. Sounds like a witty title, but probably better than the actual, potentially better story could be written for that title. Maybe. Maybe not. I won't be finding out. Oh, I got it. For today's stochastic fiction game, it was written with these story elements: setting time past, setting main location tunnel, conflict person versus self, quantity of primary characters mini, point of view third, tense present tense, genre science fiction, format flash fiction. For today's stochastic fiction story, it is called Present Tense. Present tense. Running wormhole tunnel 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995, Giler glances through the bent tunnel at a warped time shadow of their past self, chasing present Tyler, who wants to help past Tyler not be persuaded by future Tyler to be a time constable. Present Giler. I've been saying Tyler. I'm going to reread that. This is going to be, I'm trying to set this up so I can at least scroll quickly and not have it be distracting to me, the way this prompt works. Let's read that again. This is the stochastic fiction story for today. Present tense. Present tense. Running wormhole 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995, Giler glances through the bent light tunnel at a warped time shadow of their past self, chasing present Giler, who wants to help past Giler not be persuaded by future Giler to be a time constable. Giler looks at the end of the wormhole and sees people at the end of the alley, lined up to the entrance of the Time Club and Dance Club, the Vortex, during 1995. They hear the thump and rattle of the windows flowing into the time tunnel. Giler has never felt the death of lovers and friends too many times, while past Giler lives between... what the fuck? I still have time. That's bad. I just got to correct it. This happens. So they hear the thump and rattle of windows, okay, in flowing into the time. Giler Giler feels the death of lovers and friends. Present Giler. Let's put that in there, and I think I can get rid of this. Just sentence sucks. It's terrible. Not that the others are glorious or anything to be talked about, but present Giler feels the death of lovers and friends they know will die, while Giler lives between time, and they want the pain, that pain. I think that's what I want. Yes. Oh boy, yeah. I think that sentence I could read. I mean, this is literally 3 paragraphs. I'm, like 3, 4. All right, for today's stochastic fiction game story, we have a story called Present Tense. Present Tense. Running Wormhole 25 to the Vortex Dance Club in 1995, Giler glances through the bent light tunnel at a warp time shadow of their past self, chasing present Giler, who wants to help past Giler not be persuaded by future Giler to be a time constable. Giler looks at the end of the wormhole and sees the people at the end of the alley lined up to the entrance of the Time Club and Dance Club, the Vortex, during 1995. They hear the thump and rattle of the windows flowing into the time tunnel. Present Giler feels the death of lovers and friends they know will die, while Giler lives between time, and they want the death pain to stop. The time shadow, the future self of Giler, follows present Giler, and present Giler runs through the time tunnel to the past Giler and knows nothing about time travel and being a time constable, while past Giler stands in line with hands in pockets at the age of 18, wearing a plaid sweater tied around their waist that hangs their shoulders with hands in pockets. Steam blows into the freezing night air and feet slip on the ice puddles that crunch snow while stomping to help warm past Giler, standing in line. Future Giler runs side to side with present Giler and takes a wide step, hitting the foot of present Giler. Present Giler sees the end of the time tunnel, a long leap away. They see past Giler give the driver's license to the door bouncer. They see the shimmering floor of the time tunnel splash their body as past Giler pushes them down. And they witness the lives of their loved ones flash through their thoughts as their body breaches the time barrier. They feel past Giler push them into the time barrier as the time door of the time tunnel closes. Present Giler realizes Rule 1 of time traveler is true. You can only change your present self. Huh. That was horribly read. And, well, maybe that's just because of the writing. That was the stochastic fiction story for the day. I'm going to go ahead and rate this. It's like it's a 1 or a 4. I kind of like it now, but just because it's fresh in mind, and I probably have a lot of context in my own head that makes more sense to me, but not others, because of that context. So for right now, it's a 1. Write the story and rate it. Because I don't know. Well, what I don't know, I'll find out during the future. I got to change my current position and move on with life a little bit. So until that next time, the next moment time allows to write like this. Try to find more time to write like this.